Hey everybody, Wayland here, and welcome to my backyard and the new addition. So I love doing barbecue. I've got some other videos about that kind of content. I've even built a barbecue. I've even modified a barbecue. Was originally an old country Wrangler that I had made 42 inches longer for a cook chamber. I even extended the firebox by about 4 inches. So anyways, I do like the flavor that an offset can produce, and if I've always said if you have pyromaniac tendencies, nothing like managing a fire in an offset to help you satisfy that. A pellet cooker is a good way to go. Anytime I just want to fire something up, a grill or make a roast, I can do it easily on the pellet cooker. That's a Pit Boss classic. I even purchased that smokestack for it off Amazon, and it's been a trooper. The problem I found with a pellet cooker like that is if you do want to do a long cook like a brisket, it works really well, but doesn't produce a really good smoky taste. Now I have been using a pellet cooker to finish briskets, that pellet cooker in particular, and I got about 3 of them on there. Okay, the problem is the one that sits right above the fire pot or off to the side close to the pellet hopper gets a little bit overdone on the bottom, and really I could only put 3, and then I had to add a water pot. I just wanted to be able to go ahead and finish more briskets in something like a vertical pellet cooker. So I finally broke down and bought me one of them. Hopefully I can do more meats and keep them away from the fire pot and to finish them up with greater ease. Now again, with the offset, you've got to continue to manage your cook, 12, 16 hours, how long it takes. Even though in my opinion, after 6 to 8 hours, you've got a good bark, good color, and a good taste. So the other few hours are just finishing the cook. And I do get kind of tired and not wanting to keep putting wood splits on. So I find this a good alternative. This is Pit Boss Competition Series. Now I just bought this thing yesterday. I've been considering, looked at a few different options. I will say, if you were considering this and you're watching this video, I hope you can still get it for 400 bucks. Originally this is a $549 unit. Okay, I like the double walls, and I like the fact that it will have this large hopper. Now I've not filled it yet with its entirety because I need to make sure it works. Although I've not had a problem with Pit Boss, everybody does know that some things can happen. So anyways, I'm going to see that it gets, will turn on, will feed pellets, and at least start to heat up before I fill it with 40 pounds of pellets. Here's their unit. I'm actually not sure about this one yet. I've seen nothing on it. I don't know if it Bluetooths or if this will just be, operating here at itself. Anyways, I will look into this. Of course, who reads manuals? So I'll turn it on here in a minute. I see there is a power button, and there is Fahrenheit or Celsius, and this button does press in, so we'll see what that does. Again, I'm not sure yet. I don't know how this thing works, but we're going to find out here in a minute. I do know from experience before, this is the clean out. Since I do have some pellets in there, I won't open that because I'll have pellets come out. But if you were changing pellets or you were breaking it down to do a good clean out, you would open this up and the pellets that you have in that hopper will come out. Of course, it does have a little bit of information on the back there. There is the model number and some of its basic components. So we're going to see how this thing gets up and working. It does have a grease tray. That's one thing. I'll show you the inside here in a minute. Kind of nice way to remove the grease easily. Okay, that Doesn't mean you'll never have to clean it out, but we're going to check that out. Here is the hopper. I believe it's 40 pounds. Shoot, I've got a 40-pound bag over there of the Sam's Club, smokehouse blend. I'm not too particular. I've spent a little more on pellets and a little less, and I actually found that the Costco brand cooks well and lasts a long time and regulates temperature well. I found cheaper brands of pellets will actually have a harder time of regulating temperatures well. This will be a first for me. I'm starting with this batch that I got from Sam's Club in here. The funny thing is, and I bet it's the same manufacturer at Costco. I don't know. I'm just suspicious because it's the same blend of woods, I believe. Hickory, oak, maple, and cherry, I believe, is the exact same stuff that's in the Costco. And a lot of times these manufacturers will just bag it slightly different and sell it to the other companies. So, anyways, it didn't come with a thermometer. I actually happen to have one from a previous vertical smoker. I didn't have it very long. The handle broke. Anyways, kind of interesting story that I won't get into. Sorry. Message me on the side, I might tell you. But I actually liked how it worked. I just couldn't keep it at the time. But they don't usually come with these. Actually, I don't remember if I actually bought this offline and installed it or just... That's a good question. Anyways, you will need to install a thermometer on this one. Let's see the inside. Okay. The one thing I do like about this one is that it does have adjustable shelves, and it does have 5 of them, or racks, you might say. They slide in and out with ease, and looks like you can come nearly all the way out. I don't know. I might not trust that with food on it. So pull it all the way out. Maybe set it on a hot pad behind you, or a rack. I love having extra, or not a rack, a tray. I love having extra trays for things like this, but they are adjustable. Oh, better get the little foam out of there. Don't want to burn that up. So that's pretty cool. You can move these racks to different points on here. So we'll see. I like, right now it's probably a pretty good size. Actually, I may have to just remove one out when I go to move the pork butt I'm doing here today over, because those definitely wouldn't be wide enough for a pork butt. But here is the drip tray. Everything will drip on this, and it's at a slant, so it brings it into the drip trough. And that drip trough will take it down into that pan we saw earlier. So that's going to be pretty cool. Here is the, I want to set this on the ground. Here is the fire pot. So in my experience, these run pretty good for a long time on these pit bosses. So in there is where there's a little heating element that will heat your pellets up and cause a little fire to happen inside there. It'll feed it automatically. There's an auger, and then basically the fire is maintained in there at whatever temp you set it to. So this is a pretty stout box that will deflect the heat. It will deflect it out to the side. So the hope is that the heat will just come up over the sides of all your cooking grates and up and out through that small smokestack. Then over the, and again, that's a pretty thick metal, I'd say about 1/8. And then over that, you sit this water pot, okay? And then that water pot will help keep the atmosphere humid, so you can keep most of your meats pretty well moist. And again, right over the fire pot is the drip tray. Again, that that drip tray will cause all the drippings to go into the drip trough, which will catch it in the drip pan in the bottom. So I think it's a pretty cool design. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get it turned on and kind of burn off any maybe oils or residuals. I don't know. It looks really clean actually. So, but nothing like getting it seasoned and get a first burn in. So, and then actually figuring out how the thing works. So I'm going to shut it and turn it on. Let's see what happens. Get the rack in there. It's got a seal, so not not too bad. Again, that plexiglass is kind of, probably about an 1/8 inch it feels. I'm sure this thing should hold temps well. Again, it's double layer of material. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm hoping it'll hold temps well. Actually, I'm just realizing. Let me think about this. Okay, yeah. There's the thermometer. So the way this thing will regulate its own temps and how much pellets to feed and fire up is by what the thermometer tells it it's set at and what temperature you set it to. So there's the thermometer, kind of midpoint. It's not bad. This thermometer here will tell me what I am more at the top of the cooker. So, and of course, I might use my own types of thermometers, like wireless thermometers, to manage temps at different areas. Let's see what happens. I am plugged in. I got some pellets in there, so let's see what happens when I push the on button. Well, it's wanting to start at 130. Let's see. That's as low as it goes. That's pretty exciting because when I like to rest my meats, I like to rest them at 150. Let's see. Pushing this button down. Doesn't do anything at the moment, so we'll get back to that. Kind of excited. I do have a Wi-Fi indicator there, so I'm going to probably have to download an app, and I probably will go ahead and get out my instructions here in a minute while this thing heats up. Although I do not hear the auger moving, so may need to figure this out and look a little bit into it. So I'll be right back. Okay, fiddled with a second off camera, of course, because I don't want to read no stinking instructions. Anyways, when I held the button down, it did shut off, and a pretty typical thing for my other pit boss to do is actually to run the fan to help cool it off during the shutdown process. So I'm going to turn it back on. And then I realized that it's flashing because it wants you to select the temperature. Once you select the temperature you want it to go at, and I'm gonna do something like 350 degrees because I want to go ahead and get this thing up to temp, see if it gets up to 350 and kind of burn some things off. So once you touch that center button just once, it go ahead and accepts your 350 setting. And then so now it should start feeding pellets. I can hear things moving, the fan is going, and I'm going to assume the auger is too. Could be quiet enough. We shall see. I think I do hear the auger, yes. So, not too loud, that's pretty good. And I'm assuming it'll auger and feed pellets into the fire pot and start a fire and get it going until it gets up to 350 degrees and holds it there. Pretty cool. Turning the knob doesn't do anything. If I push it again, I can turn the knob to change the setting. So pretty cool. You can't change the setting there. I'll push that knob again. I do see a Bluetooth feature, so I'm going to go ahead and look for the Pit Boss app and see how that goes. So I am going to monitor it, see if it will feed pellets, light them up, and get this thing up to 350 degrees. All right, we'll be back. It's only been a few minutes. I was kind of looking over the instructions, or well, I'm lying. I was looking for the app information and perusing the pages, looking at the pictures. So anyways, and as I was doing that, I realized this thing started smoking. I could hear the auger kind of pushing pellets through. So it is smoking currently, which means some of the pellets are lighting up. So there it is. Some smoke coming out of the top. Looks like a little bit of steam on the inside. You can kind of hear the popping of the pellets. At times that the augering of the pellets will cause that sound. Kind of sometimes may crunch some of the pellets as they are just trying to be, again, augered into that fire pot. But there it is. The dial on my thermometer did start to move up. Right now it's a little cold out here, but it looks like we're getting up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit already there. Let's see. I don't know what the side of what this thing looks like. Okay, 95 according to that. So again, it was about 66, which is close to what probably is outside here. So not too bad. I am looking at the information to try to find what app I need. I'm guessing if I just went to my app page, I would be able to find a Pit Boss app. But I noticed in one of the pages was asking for the serial number for me to register it. So I'll probably do that here. So I'm gonna go find a pen, write down the serial number, and then proceed to download the app and potentially register this thing. So moving right along, up to 100 already, so not bad. Seems to be working good. A little steam on the glass. Oh, you can kind of see the fire going in the fire pot. Of course, recording it's not that great, but steam on the window. So yeah, it'll be good. I mean, I like windows too. The only funny thing about windows is before long they're covered in, kind of smoke color. So I'll see about it, what it's like to kind of keep that clean. Again, I don't know if it's necessary as a smoker, a pit master. I'm used to not being able to look, right? Because as they say, if you're looking, you're not cooking. Anyways, I'm going to let the thing go ahead and continue to get up to temperature and look for the serial number and try to download an app. And we'll be back. All right, so turned out just being the Pit Boss app, and I downloaded it and logged in, created a password and all that, and it ended up doing an update. So once I told the unit to look for a grill, it found mine and I named it, and then it said, asked me to put in the Wi-Fi password and do all that stuff. So be prepared to do that. And then when it did all that, it said, okay, now we have an update, and so my grill is up to date. So anyways, all right, so we're about 4 o'clock ish, or just after. I'm not sure. My phone's here recording. So anyways, I set it to about, I don't remember. Here, let's touch the dial. 150, okay? Because that's where I do like to rest my foods. And so it's at 150. The interesting thing, and maybe a good thing, here we are between 150 and 200s. So up here at the top. So it's pretty close. Got a little bit of a difference. I'd say 175. So that'd be a little bit high. I typically like to be down more close to 150 when I'm resting. Anything too high would definitely cause you to basically overcook your foods. I'm going to bump this down to 130, and we'll see how low it goes. But I was going to say that, wow, it's been that low. I've noticed a lot more of the smoke coming out of the top, which is nice because that means it's burning the pellets at a rate to kind of keep it low, kind of smoldering them maybe, and so maybe it would produce a little bit more of a smoke taste on foods. So I don't know, maybe I'll try one full cook on it at some point and get a video of that. But again, my primary reason for having this is to be able to finish cooks or to hold meat at a steady temperature. So we'll see if it will. Like I said, it's been around 150, 175 is not too terrible, but I definitely would like to try to keep it around 150 when I'm resting. But we'll see what 130 does for us. We'll come back. All right, so here I am at about 150 on the dial, on this analog dial, which is good to know. I'm up here at the top, I'm 150. So the thermometer inside here that is being run off this says it's at 126. Again, that's against the side wall. It was pretty close before, and of course I asked it to run at 130, so it believes it is. I don't know if calibration can be done. I'll run probes too and go maybe more off that when I am resting, but when you try to run it at 130, it's about 150 up here at the top. So I'd be comfortable with that and knowing that I'm at food safe temps and I'm at the right temp for resting. I'd rather be lower if it's between 130 and 150 for resting. I'd be much more happy than if it was above that. So that's it. So far this thing seems to be able to regulate temperatures pretty well, and it's been running for hours at this rate, so it seems to be working good. So I'm excited about it. We'll see what I get to cook on it. Like I said, I might try to cook something from beginning to end to see what kind of flavor I would have on there, how much smoke it can produce. Even again now at the 130, you don't really see smoke coming out of there. That's the thing about these pellet cookers, is they run a very clean, efficient fire. So you can get different flavors on your food by different woods that you may acquire, but really smoky taste just isn't really able to be developed by these things. But great for, like I said, holding and bringing foods up to temp. So we're going to try this probably a little later today. I'll see what I can finish on it, but otherwise that's kind of my overview of this Pit Boss competition series. It said it was the PB 5V2, something like that. Actually, I couldn't even register it because it didn't acknowledge the model on their website. So anyways, so far with the size and its ability, I am pretty well pleased. That's it for this video. Keep a lookout for other videos cooking on this thing.